Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Lucy with Viking Cruises. And as everybody's just signing on, we've opened up everything up for about 5 minutes. So if you'd like to just relax, we'll get started at the top of 9 o'clock. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say hello and welcome. Good morning, everyone. We will be starting in about 3 to 4 minutes. We're just waiting for everybody to join us and get logged in. So please relax, enjoy your coffee, and we'll be back to you in a few minutes. Good morning, everyone. This is Kim Lucy with Viking Cruises. We are going to get started in about 3 minutes. We're just waiting for everyone to log in. So thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll be back to you shortly. Good morning, everyone. It's Kim Lucy with Viking Cruises. We'll just be a few minutes. We're just waiting for everybody to log in, and we'll be starting right at the start of 9 o'clock. We, I think, have about a minute left. So please enjoy your coffee, relax, and we'll be starting very soon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Traveling Virtually with Viking. We sincerely appreciate our travel advisors and their clients for taking the time to be with us. I would like to kindly remind you that our virtual chat and Q&A is open, so we'll be responding to questions during and after the session. If you need any additional details or further assistance after the presentation concludes, please be sure to contact your favorite travel advisor. And today, I'd like to welcome Kim Lucy, Director of National Accounts for Viking Cruises in Canada. As a 30-year veteran of the cruise industry and a passionate traveler, she has explored the world extensively by river and ocean. She loves to inspire people to look beyond the next horizon by sharing her knowledge of history, unique destinations, and travel tips with fellow explorers. Viking is built for explorers, so let's welcome Kim.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all for joining us this morning. I want to especially thank our travel advisors who are joining us this morning, and also a big thank you to them for inviting you to join us as well to explore the world of Viking and specifically learn a little bit more about Amsterdam and our wonderful itinerary for tulips and windmills. So as Michael mentioned, please, if you have any questions of anything that I'm talking about along the way, please type into the question box and we'll be addressing those at the end. In the meantime, I'm going to turn off my camera so that you've got the full screen, and let's get started sailing with Viking along the waterways of Holland. So I always like to start with a map because I just find that what I've learned is many of us have cruised on the oceans and we've cruised around the outside of these countries, and people don't realize the incredible water system that we have that runs through the heart of Europe. So this is the world of Viking. We do have an amazing offering. You can sail all the way from the North Sea all the way to the Black Sea along the Rhine, the Main, and the Danube. We also sail into France, into Portugal, Russia, the Ukraine, and then also some of the more exotic destinations, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Egypt. But today we're going to be focusing on the area that you see just below the North Sea into Holland and Belgium. And most of these itineraries are done during the tulip season, which is absolutely spectacular. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Viking. Many of you have probably seen Downton Abbey and have seen some of our wonderful commercials. Viking has been around for 23 years. We started in 1997 with 4 ships in Russia, and we've expanded significantly over the years. We now have 74 river ships sailing around the world. 64 of those are identical river ships that are sailing along the rivers of Europe. We also have 6 beautiful ocean ships currently sailing, with 2 more coming over the next year. And we are building 2 expedition ships and a Mississippi ship as well. So I hope you'll join us over the next few weeks to learn a little bit more about some of those other destinations. I know your travel advisor will be letting you know about some of those details as we go. So Viking is very focused on travelers and adventurers at heart. We are designed for English-speaking clients, mature clients with curious minds, interested in art, history, culture, music. We don't cater to families, and we don't accept children under 18. So it is a very different experience on board that really allows you to be immersed in the destination. We do focus on destination. So you're going to spend time in port. It's a highly inclusive product. We include virtually everything, but we don't believe in charging people for things they don't use. So Viking gives you choice, and I'll go through some of that as well as we move forward. We're also a larger operator, so it allows us to pass on the savings with our larger fleets across the river, the ocean, the expedition, and the Mississippi product. And because we're recognized as one of the best employers in the industry, we have been able to attract some really amazing crew. And I think that's one of the things that stands out when I talk to guests when I'm doing presentations is they talk about the incredible sense of family they feel when they travel with us, and that urge to assist and share their knowledge of the places that we visit. So as I mentioned, we are catering to adventurers and people that are travelers at heart. So we are creating amazing destination-focused itineraries. We want to immerse you in the destination through cultural enrichment, and we do spend time carefully curating those for you. We know that people travel to learn, and we know that you love to connect with fellow travelers. I know I do, and that's one of the reasons I do travel is to meet new people in new destinations, to be able to learn about those destinations and be aware of some of the things that we're all influenced by. So before you go, we love to give you the opportunity to learn more about your destination through filmographies, through short cultural videos, as well as recommended reading lists. And I'm going to share some of that with you today as well. So as I mentioned, we've been in the business since 1997, starting off in Russia. We've built beautiful ships. Here you can see a picture of our long ships. They are green technology with hybrid engines and solar panels, reduced carbon emissions and vibration. We really are being aware of our carbon footprint and trying to make a difference as well. And the other key thing is that we own and operate throughout our fleet. No matter where you travel, you're going to have the same experience with Viking. And I think that gives you that sense of comfort to travel with us to various parts of the world. We also want to make sure that you're not just exploring the destination, but you're tasting it. And we do create destination-focused dining, so you'll get a chance to try the local cuisine, but we do always offer what I call comfort food: steak, Caesar salad, chicken, and salmon, which are always available. But we do offer a changing menu every day. We do cater to a variety of dietary needs, and we also offer a changing menu each day that focuses on that destination that we're visiting. We are recognized, as I mentioned, with very high service. We've been recognized by Condé Nast, by Travel and Leisure, as one of the best river lines in the industry. And as I mentioned, it's all about touching, tasting, feeling, and experiencing that destination to the fullest. And we want to do that by bringing on giving you the opportunity to truly be immersed in that destination. We are designing incredible shore excursions. I'm going to share some of those with you today so that you'll have a chance to dig a little deeper into the destination. We're bringing on local entertainers and musicians, performers, dancers that will give you some insight into the cultural experience of the destination that we visit, as well as we bring on lecturers that talk about the history, the art, the culture, the current affairs. So when you arrive in that destination, you're prepared to go and explore and enjoy tours that will allow you to dig a little deeper. And our staff is from the areas that we visit, particularly on the rivers. So they're anxious to share their secret places to visit, little restaurants, shops, and also to be able to assist you in setting up individual programs as well. What we do with our onshore experiences is we've created a program called the Viking Way. And this is the Viking Way of exploration, allows you to dig that little bit deeper. We break it into 3 different areas: local life, working world, and privileged access. So maybe many of you are like me. You love to peek in people's houses. You like to go to the market and learn how people eat, to take cooking classes, to really dig a little deeper and get to know the locals. So through our local life program, we have designed home visits so that you've got a chance to go and meet local families. In this case, you might get a chance to go and meet a local family and try some of the local food. You may get a chance to go to the market and learn about the cheese. And then with our working world, it allows you to insight into what makes the economy tick in the places that we visit. So in this case, you'll learn how that windmills have changed Holland. You'll get a chance to go to Delft and maybe take a workshop to see how the famed porcelain is made. And then privileged access takes us behind the scenes. It allows you to dig a little bit deeper, to pull back the curtain, is what I always like to say. And in this case, you will get a chance to visit Kinderdijk's oldest windmill on a vintage barge. These are exclusive experiences for our Viking guests. So I'll talk about some of these as we go, but this is what we do. And I have to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed these programs. I've tried a lot of them, and it's given me insight that I didn't think that I would normally get if I was traveling on my own. And this is the big advantage of working with your local travel advisor, is that they take the training with us and they are familiar with the different things that we offer. So they're able to give you that expert advice and help you pick the things that are right for you. So what do we include with Viking? We include a short excursion in each port of call. Of course, we include the meals. We have alternate dining choices of dining venues. So we have our alternate sort of casual dining with our Aquavit Terrace and Lounge, and we have our more formal dining experience in our main dining room. We include beer, wine, and soft drinks with meals. We have sparkling wine available if you like to start your day with a toast on our river ships. We include specialty coffees and teas at a 24-hour self-serve coffee, tea, and cappuccino bar, bottled water, Wi-Fi is included, in-room entertainment system. We use first-class hotels when you're taking any of our pre or post extensions, and you don't have to look in fine print for extra costs. Our port charges and government fees are included. Now with Viking, there are several things that we want to leave to you. So our optional tours are for those who want to dig a little bit deeper. Maybe people like to explore on their own, so that might not be something they want to do, but optional tours are there to take you that little deeper into the destination. Beer, wine, and soft drinks are not included between meals because most of our guests are off the ship during the day. We do have a beverage package that can be pre-purchased, and we also have a no corkage policy. So we encourage you to try local. Please feel free to try the local beer or the wine or the spirits and to bring those back to the ship. We also, our gratuities are also can be prepaid, and you can discuss that further with your travel advisor. They'll be able to give you more information about that as well. Now, this is what our ships look like. They're long and narrow. We have to squeeze under a lot of low bridges, and we also have to squeeze through a variety of locks. So you can see there's a big, beautiful deck area, our Aquavit Terrace at the bow of the ship, which is our casual dining area, connected to our lounge. It's a wonderful place to sit and enjoy a continental breakfast in the morning or read your book during the afternoon as you're sailing through the canals. We also have 5 different choices of accommodations. So depending on what you like and what your budget is, you can choose something that works for you. Just to give you an idea, all of our ships are designed with a similar decor. They're Scandinavian in design. We believe in bringing the outdoors in. That's the Scandinavian aesthetic. So you'll find lots of windows, beautiful natural fabrics and woods and stone. There's a real sense of openness and light. And we believe that you should feel wrapped by the destination. And that is what I feel when I travel on our beautiful ships. It's understated elegance. There's a lot of attention to detail, and relaxation is one of the things that we want you to really enjoy. We have a nice range of staterooms, as I mentioned, and here you can see some of the examples. Our 2-room suite with a private bedroom and sitting room area with balconies and French balconies, and also our verandas with our step-out veranda. So we do have different choices, but the decor is very similar. So let's talk about the itinerary. This is an itinerary that I was fortunate to do a few years ago, and to travel through Holland at this time of the year is absolutely breathtaking. You can see the tulips in this photograph and the iconic picture of the canals with the bikes. So this is a 10-day trip, 8 guided tours are included, and we're going to travel through 2 different countries. This gives you an idea. We spend some time in Amsterdam. We visit some of the key places in the Netherlands, as well as Belgium, and then returning back to Amsterdam. So this is a map. It gives you a better idea of where we're traveling. So you can see we're going to be going north up to Hoorn through the canals, and then working our way back down into parts of Holland, into Belgium, and onward back into Amsterdam. A lot of people don't take the time to go to Belgium, and it really is a beautiful, beautiful country with lots and lots of history to offer. But let's start off in Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam, and I really encourage people to take some extra time here. Book a pre or post package. Your travel advisor can help you with that. We do offer packages, and it's well worth it. The last time I went, I spent an extra 3 days, and even though I've been to Amsterdam many, many times, every time I go, I find something new to explore. The city was actually established as a fishing village in the early 13th century. And by the 16th and 17th century, they had entered the golden age, and it had become a really thriving commercial and naval power. It became the base of the Dutch East India and Dutch West India companies. and it became, making it the one of the leading financial and trade centers. In the early 1800s, or rather the late 1800s, a canal was built out to the North Sea, which really further opened things up for them. And then in 1952, the Rhine-Amsterdam Canal linked the city to the Rhine River. And that canal system then opened Amsterdam up to the other European waterways. And it of course, made a phenomenal difference. Take a look at the houses. The interesting thing, like when you get to Amsterdam, you've got a whole variety of things to do. We will be doing an included tour that will take you out on a glass-topped boat along these canals, which is fantastic. It's really fun to go under those little arched bridges. Sometimes you're ducking your head because you can't believe you can actually get through them. But it's also fun to walk along these canals or take a bicycle. There's actually more bicycles than cars in Amsterdam, and they actually have parking lots for bicycles, just like we have for cars in North America. So it's quite something to see. But these houses, as you can see, were built by the merchants during the 17th century, 16th, 17th century, and they're about 1 room wide. The interesting thing with this is that the Dutch are known for being very, very frugal. And so you are taxed on the footprint of your house. So they would make them as narrow as possible, and then they would build them as high as possible. They would include at the top storage space for their goods, and they would live in the bottom parts. So they're so narrow that it's really difficult to move furniture in and out. So if you look very carefully at the top of that black and white house, you will see something protruding near the top of the roof. That is actually a pulley system that when it was originally built, was built to bring the goods up to the storage areas. And now they use it when they're moving to bring up the furniture because they can't get it up and down the stairs. So some interesting stories. In addition to that, all of these houses are built on poles. They're rammed about 60 feet into the mud until they hit the firm sand. So even the Dutch Royal Palace sits on about 14,000 of these poles. So Holland is technically below sea level, so it's a recovered land. And so walking around and just taking a look at some of these houses, the guides will tell you about them. You can tell how wealthy the owner was by the type of windows. I'm not going to share all that with you because it will take all the fun out of coming and visiting yourself. So one of the other things that you can do in Amsterdam, it has more museums per square mile than any other city in the world. It is, they have some of the most amazing art galleries here. You can see the Rijksmuseum, which was closed and has been renovated and recently reopened. It houses some of the most incredible paintings of the Grand Masters. These are Rembrandt and Rubens. So you can spend hours and hours in here. The other museum that I had a chance to go to on one of my recent trips was the Van Gogh Museum, which had also been closed and recently reopened. And it has, I think it's 3 or 4 floors of, tells the story of Van Gogh. And you can see the progression over his lifetime in terms of his paintings. I think I spent about 3 or 4 hours there. It was absolutely fantastic. So if you're interested in art, it's a great place to visit. The other place that you see on the top right-hand side is the Anne Frank House. And as many of you know, Anne and her family were hidden here for close to 2 years in this house behind hidden walls. And when you go through, it's really, really emotional. You can see where she's written on the wall. Everything is left as it was. If you've read her story, it will really, really be a huge impact for you. Now, one of the things, this is not an included tour, I believe it is possible to arrange it, but you might want to talk to your travel advisor. You can see the long lineup outside, and your travel advisor can arrange front of the line tickets or pre-arranged tickets to get in. And then as we did, we were able to walk right to the front and go straight in. And those are some of the advantages you have in working with a travel professional, is that they know these things and they're able to help you out a little bit. One of the other things I did in Amsterdam that I really enjoyed in my last trip, which is in this area of Anne Frank's house, is a walking tour through the Jewish district. So you can see some of the, and hear some of the history of the persecution of the Jews. But in addition to that, I went to the Resistance Museum, which was a museum that tells the story of the Dutch resistance during the Nazi occupation. And it was amazing. I highly, highly recommend that if you have the time. It's just a great city to spend time. And if you're interested in a little bit of the maritime history, the Maritime Museum was thoroughly enjoyable. And they have a reproduction of the Amsterdam, which was one of the Dutch East India trading ships. So if you want to know what it was like to sail to collect the spices from the further reaches of the world, you can certainly do that at the Maritime Museum. And finally, Amsterdam is known for the diamond trade. So if you're interested in diamonds, you can go. There are several of the diamond houses that are open. The Amsterdam cut is known as one of the highest quality of diamonds. So you can check that out as well. Maybe you want to do a little shopping. So moving on, we're going to, as we sail out of Amsterdam, we're going to go north, as I showed you on the map, and we're going to visit Hoorn. Hoorn was founded in 1300, and it's named for the horn-shaped harbor along the IJsselmeer, or what was formerly known as the Zuider Zee. It's an artificial lake that was created by the massive dams that have been built. It has two original gates dating back to the 16th fortifications. And this is also where the Dutch army claimed victory over the Spanish in the late 1500s. Up until then, it was actually under the rule of the Spanish kings and queens. So this was sort of the first time it became independent. So we'll do a walking tour here, so you get a chance to see the city. It's really very beautiful, as you can see, little winding streets. You'll get a chance to see the West Fries Museum and the Bang, which is the Bluestone Public. I don't know if you can see it in the distance. You can see the church with the tower. Right near there is the weigh house that dates back to the 1600s. And this is where all of the farmers bring their cheese to be weighed. And so they have a festival in the summertime as well, but you'll get a chance to see the harbor. And then there's a couple of different things. I talked about the working world as part of our Viking way of exploration, and we do have two options here. We've got the included tour, which will give you a chance to explore by foot and visit a local family. So it would be more of a local life experience. But you can also go out and see one of the largest greenhouses in the world and learn about how they grow sustainable produce. And also there's another opportunity to go to see a working tulip farm and get a chance. They produce 25 million tulips per year. So you'll get a chance to learn about that, as well as meet with a local family and enjoy it. And then if you're feeling like you want a little bit more exercise, we're also doing a Dutch countryside and home visit by e-bike, which is part of the local life experience as well. So there's lots and lots of things to do. If you want more information, again, you can check with your travel advisor and they'll be able to get more information from us as well. So then we move on to Arnhem, and Arnhem is known for its beautiful green space and its gorgeous parks, but more importantly, it's known for its World War II history. Some of you may have seen the Richard Attenborough movie, A Bridge Too Far. It is, and we'll get a chance to go and learn about this history as well. It was one of the crucial wartime operations. It was the basis in September 1944, the Allied paratroopers landed near Arnhem, and it was called Operation Market Garden. And the main reason for the initiative, or it was to take the main bridges at Arnhem and to cut the Germans off. They were on their way they were starting to retreat, but they were not giving up. And so they landed near Arnhem, Nijmegen, and Eindhoven, and they were on their push into Germany from France to defeat Hitler. Unfortunately, the Germans were waiting for them. There were a number of different things that went wrong, and there were a lot of people lost, as well as they had to retreat. So this museum pays homage to the Allied soldiers from the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia, and New Zealand, and Poland that are buried at the cemetery at Oosterbeek. So we'll get a chance. That's part of the included tour, is to see that. You've got a chance to go to the open air museum here. You can do a little bit of biking as well. So again, we tried to create options for you that you can enjoy. And then we get to Kinderdijk, and Kinderdijk is one of my favorite places to stop. It's featured on a number of our itineraries along the Rhine, sailing out of Amsterdam. There are 19 heritage windmills here that were built in the 1700s. And many of them are occupied by families who can live here for free if they maintain, restore, and operate these windmills. So 2 of them are actually set up as museums. So you can go in and see just what it's like to live inside a windmill. And you'll often see kids and families outside playing. It's just a beautiful area. If you're a photographer, you will love this. I have so many photographs of this particular port of call at different times of the year with different light, and every single one of them is breathtaking. I don't think you can take a bad picture here. Now we've got you'll learn about how the windmills work and their impact in Holland in keeping the water at bay. As I mentioned, Holland is below sea level, and the system of polders, which are these little islands that are created by the canals, and the pumping of the water helps to create agricultural land where there really isn't anymore. So this is a World Heritage site, one of the many that we visit. So you'll get a chance to see this. You can also go and do a working world experience, which will take you out into the Dutch countryside, and you'll learn a little bit more about the historic windmills. You can go out by bike and do a little bit of exploring into the countryside by e-bike. You can do it by vintage barge, which is a privileged access. It's exclusive to Viking. And you can also go out and check out the cheese. A cheese farm as well, which is something I did, which was really fun. It's a local family. They have the cows, they milk the cows, and they create the cheese. They have a mail order business. So you get a chance to see the creation of the Gouda, or the Gouda cheese, as they call it there. So it's great fun to enjoy. From there, we go on to Antwerp. And Antwerp is in Belgium. It's Belgium's largest port and one of the busiest in the world. We have a wonderful walking tour here that will take you through this beautiful old city. You'll get a chance to see the Cathedral of Our Lady. You'll get to go through the winding street to the Groot Market, which is where their beautiful Renaissance town hall stands. You'll also get to see the Hetstein Castle, and this was actually built after one of the Viking incursions. This was actually the first stone fortress that was built, and in the end, you'll end up at the town square here with the famous Bravo Fountain, which commemorates the legend of how Antwerp got its name. So fantastic city to explore. And while you're here, make sure that you try some of the local delicacies. This is where Belgian waffles come from. You'll also learn about the Belgian beer. You've got also a chance to try the famous frites and mayonnaise that are famous. And of course, Belgium is known for the beautiful lace and the chocolate. So great place to do some shopping and to check this out. And then the next port of call is Ghent. And Ghent is actually the port city to take us off to the old medieval city of Bruges. Now, there are 2 options here. You can do our included tour, which is a half-day tour, or you can do a full day tour, which gives you 3 or 4 hours extra to just explore on your own. Personally, I did the half-day tour and I felt like I was a little bit rushed. So if you have the time and you have the inclination, it is an additional charge to do the optional tour, but the extra time, if you'd like to enjoy it in Bruges, is well worth it. As you can see, it's got these lovely canals, it's got beautiful little winding streets, it's got a gorgeous town center, and of course, it's fun to just sit and enjoy some of the local Belgian beer. Now, you will get a chance to see the Church of Our Lady. You'll get to see some of the medieval homes. You'll get a chance to go to one of the and really just enjoy and learn a lot about the history of this beautiful city. Now, one of the other things that's available to you if you're a World War II historian or you've got an interest in that is Flanders Fields. So this is Flanders Fields, of course, we all know from the poem In Flanders Fields. And guests who would like to go to the cemetery at Ypres, where the name of 50,000 missing soldiers are carved into the walls at Menin Gate. they can certainly do that. We also go to the Last Post Cemetery, or so you'll to enjoy the Last Post ceremony that takes place at 8 p.m. each day. So there's if that's something that you're interested in, you'll get a chance to go on to Flanders Fields as well. We're also going to Zeeland. Now, this is, for centuries, Holland was plagued by devastating floods in the North Sea. It used to surge over the banks and raise the levels of the rivers and create floods all over the place. Canals, dikes, and dams were built to try and stem this tide and floods. However, shortly after the last great flood in 1953, the country undertook one of the largest hydroelectric projects in the world. It's called the Great Delta Works, and it took about 30 years to build. So you'll get a chance to go, that's part of the included tours, to go to the Delta Works and to learn about what they do to protect themselves from the sea. And it's an ingenious system that protects the area and also controls the tides. It allows them to ebb and flow throughout. In addition, in the area, there's a dolphin and seal residence, as well as these flood barriers. There's also some a nature reserve with trails and dunes and marshes. So here you'll get a chance to see the Delta Works, but also if you're interested, you can go out and do Best of Flavors of Holland. So you can try some of the local oysters and learn about the significance of that industry, as well as try and chef some of your own if you haven't done that as well. And then from there, we come back to Amsterdam. And again, there's an extra day here. You'll get a chance in the morning to go off to Keukenhof Gardens, which is the largest floral park in the world, and see some of the most beautiful outdoor and indoor exhibits, millions and millions of vibrant blooms, tulips, hyacinths, crocuses, and daffodils at this time of the year. I went, and it was just before the bloom actually of the tulips. We were a bit early. It was kind of a late spring, but the hyacinths were out in full force, and the scent in the air was incredible. But it is a beautiful, beautiful garden. There's 70 acres, and 7 million flowers are said to be in bloom here. And it runs all year round. It's incredible. So you can actually see the 100 varieties of tulips along these ancient 15th century hunting grounds. The tulips have a long history, and you probably hear about tulip mania that happened in the 17th century. It was like they were sold on the stock market, and people literally lost all of their money trying to find the perfect tulip. The demand went on for about 4 years. It was crazy. So that you'll hear a little bit about that. And if you're interested in flowers, the other thing that you can do in Amsterdam, and talk to your travel agent, because they will probably have to arrange this for you as an additional tour separate from what we offer at Viking. That is the Alsmeer Flower Auction in Amsterdam. It's the largest in the Netherlands. And I was fascinated when I went. You have to get up super early, like 4 in the morning. You need to be there early. And almost all of the flowers that are sold in any of the shops in any of the countries that we live in come through Amsterdam within about a 48-hour period. They come in, they're sold, and they go out on big planes. And it's amazing to see this auction going on. So if you're interested, you can do that. Talk to your travel agent, they should be able to set that up for you as well. So you have some free time in Amsterdam. One of the things that I love to do is to do a little souvenir shopping. You can bring home some cheese. You can take a bike and pedal around. As I mentioned, there are more bikes per person than any other the cars in Amsterdam. The little streets are made for bikes and not so much for cars. And there's lots and lots of bike trails. So if you're interested, you can certainly do that. If you're walking, please be aware of bikes, because they do have the right of way and they will mow you down. So just be aware. We're a little bit, in North America, pedestrians have the right of way, but not in Holland. So you can pick up some wooden shoes, some cheese, there's chocolate, there's all kinds of great things to explore and do here, or go back to some of the museums that you might have missed, or just enjoy a Dutch pancake, which is what I like to do as well, or some rijstafel. So the next day you'll set sail for home. So I hope you've enjoyed the little tour that we've given you virtually through Holland and Belgium. on the trail of the tulips. So I want to leave you with just some other ideas. If you like to cook, we do some cooking classes on board, and we also, through our Viking TV, have recipes posted. So if you'd like to try it, a little bit of Dutch food, you can try the Dutch hotspot, which is a vegetable stew with braised beef, and you can find the recipe on Viking TV or our Viking website. Also, I wanted to share some books with you. Some of you may have seen the movie with Charlotte Johansson, The Girl with the Pearl Earring, or of course, you may or may not have read The Diary of Anne Frank, or The Diary of a Young Girl. I went back and read it just recently, and I'd forgotten what a wonderful story it is, and also what a sad story it is. And if you've gone to see the museum there, it will have even more of an impact for you. Oops. And then I also wanted to share some movies with you. I had mentioned Tulip Fever. This was an okay movie, but what was fascinating about it was this tulip craze from the 1700s, and how people were trying to find their fortune with a single tulip bulb, to perfect the tulip bulb and be able to have that one. And then, of course, the story of Arnhem and the bridge too far. So these are a couple things for you. Now, if you're interested in going to Amsterdam, there are a number of itineraries that we offer. The Belgium and Holland, this one runs year round. So if you want to visit Belgium during the non-tulip season, this is a great itinerary, 10 days, visiting Rotterdam, Basel, Nijmegen, Maastricht, all of these. Some of these have World War II history, World War I history, as well as just through the canals in the history of Holland and Belgium. The Rhine Getaway, we start off in Amsterdam. So again, I encourage you to work with your travel advisor to add some pre and post so you can enjoy both of these destinations. We do Amsterdam and Kinderdijk, as I mentioned, then onward through the Rhine down to Switzerland. The Grand European Tour, our 15-day, 12-guided tour, 4-country tour, takes you right through the heart of Europe. And again, we start off in Amsterdam, Kinderdijk, and you'll get a chance to see a bit of some of these ports of call as well. This is one of our most popular itineraries. So if you're looking to go to Europe, this really gives you a taste of everything through Central Europe. If you want to come in by ocean, we do have Amsterdam as a port of call here, as well as Bruges at Zeebrugge. And you can take advantage of this on the trade routes of the Middle Ages, 15 days leaving from Barcelona and going up to Bergen or vice versa. And then we also do our Viking shores and fjords. And this one starts off in Amsterdam and goes up to see the fjords of Norway. So you can get a little bit of that Viking history. As I mentioned, the Vikings were down in Belgium, and they have traveled up and down through this area as well. So I want to say thank you so much for spending your time with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed your coffee, and I hope you enjoyed our virtual tour through Amsterdam and Holland and Belgium. I'm going to ask Michael if he's got any questions there. But again, if you have you're looking for any further information, please talk to your travel advisor, and especially your favorite travel advisor who might have invited you here today. They'll be able to give you further details on itineraries, availability, and pricing. So Michael, do we have any questions?
Yes, we do.
Oh, good.
Okay, so the first question that I got was, when would you recommend a good time to see the tulips and really, explore Holland?
That's a very good question. The tulips, we run these tours between March and about the end of April, early May. It's hard to predict when the tulips are going to come out, as we all know, living at home. You've got early springs and late springs. I've been there in March when the hyacinths and the crocuses and the tulips are starting to come out, and then there have been times when it's been a little chillier. But one thing I can say, I think if you look towards the end of April, mid to late April, your chances of getting flowers are probably very good. But the Keukenhof always has, they're able to get their tulips to bloom a little bit earlier indoors, so you won't miss it. And what you'll get are those waves of flowers. The crocuses, of course, first, the freesia, the hyacinths. And as I mentioned, when the hyacinths come out, I did a bike tour, and oh my God, the smell was so amazing. So I would say follow the routing that we have in terms of when our tours go, but April is probably safer than early March in this one.
Great, thank you. And then my next question is, can you talk about Viking's air promotions and how a travel advisor can assist with that?
Well, sure. Viking does offer a wide variety of air from a variety of gateways around North America. And one of the advantages we have as a bigger company is to be able to negotiate some really amazing rates. So you will see we offer various air promotions with reduced pricing. Some of it is free, actually. So you can check with your travel advisor for those dates. But we also include the transfers and the taxes. And if you've ever purchased or cashed in your points for free tickets, you'll find that those extra taxes add up. So this is a really great way to take advantage of some of our savings that we offer, and we often run it as various promotions through the year. So again, your travel advisor is the best person to talk to give you the best options where we have the best promotions.
Perfect. And then the last question is, can you talk about just the amazing cultural enrichment program that we have on board the ship? I know when I took this itinerary, we had an amazing guest lecturer, and I think he was a teenager that experienced the Battle of Arnhem. So it was, can you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do get some amazing lecturers on board. We do try to bring people on that have history backgrounds or maybe cultural backgrounds. I've sat in some incredible lectures. One of the things that I've found is that it often is standing room only, and our guests come prepared to learn. They bring their pens and their papers. I actually was intimidated one time when I was on a Russian river cruise, because I went into the first lecture and our guests were there like I was in a lecture hall at university, and I had to go back and get my piece of paper so I felt like I fit in. But they really are amazing, and that's a prime example, Michael. Somebody who really has lived through these experiences that can share those personal experiences with them. So those are the type of extra added value immersive experiences that Viking brings you. And if you're interested, I meant to put in my slide today the Viking TV, but one of the things that we do on Tuesdays is we're working with our resident historians, and they are doing lectures. So if you're interested, check that out, Viking TV, and it is we've got different days, we do different things, concerts, museum tours, but on Tuesdays we have our historical lecturers with our guest historians, and there's tons to learn. So a wonderful tool that we have to help you travel virtually while we're still stuck at home dreaming about the next tour.
Yeah, and I think that's it for the questions.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to travel advisors for inviting you to join us. I hope you'll come and participate in some of the other wonderful virtual travel talks that we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. Check in with your travel advisor. They have the complete list, and we look forward to sailing with you when the ships are able to go back into service. So have a great day, and keep dreaming.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. I'd like to thank our travel advisors and their clients for taking the time out of their day. If you need any additional details or further assistance, please be sure to contact your favorite travel advisor. Thank you so much.